Nice cover.
Thanks. On brand.
All things geek.
Definitely the place to do that.
Okay, so tell us about Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark is, for me, it's another way to get new characters out there to a general audience that may have not been out there in either the TV shows much or on our DVDs. A way to get away from our usual Justice League lineup and our usual Batman lineup, but using those titles as a way to piggyback new characters out there. So Justice League Dark is a team made up of the occult superheroes in the DC universe who handle cases that the regular Justice League may be in over their heads about handling. So Batman is on this team, but he won't always be on it if we do more. But he's like our connection to the main Justice League for this story. That's it in a nutshell.
How did this project come to fruition?
Well, so with the way our schedule are, we're tasked with doing a Batman a year and a Justice League a year. That's changing, but at the time we did this, that's the way it was. And my goal was always to use those titles to do something different. So I was like, how about Justice League Dark? And they're like, is Justice League in the title? And I went, yeah, fine. So they don't care. I'm like, great. So it's kind of a Jedi mind trick to get them to do new stuff without letting them know they're doing new stuff. But no, they were great. They pretty much give us a lot of leeway to do the kind of stories that will help grow the brand. And their goal is to, of course, sell well. And any way we figure out to expose new characters through that it works well.
The title Justice League Dark, I know, comes from a New 52 title that DC did a couple of years ago.
Right.
I'm just wondering about how much does it kind of follow what was written in the comics? Is it something that the fandom would be familiar with?
Well, the comic was really kind of metaphysical and not really action packed. It was a great read, and JM does great work on it. But we decided we wanted the same lineup of characters, but in a more linear, fast-moving story. It kind of would feel like a action story with magic powers instead of blocks and laser guns. So it's still about magic, still about occult. It's still very much a horror movie, but it's combined with an action movie.
You guys are kind of evolving the animated universe, slowly adding magic in the Justice League vs. Teen Titans, and now we have a full magic movie with Justice League Dark. I know we're here to talk about Justice League Dark, but with these new movies coming out every year, you're kind of slowly expanding that to maybe next you're looking into space and the other elements of the DC universe.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, if this were a TV series, we'd probably be more step by step, but because we only have 2 titles per year, there's like a gap between times, meaning when you see Justice League Dark, you'll have noticed the league has grown since the last movie. So there's fill in the gap things where the audience will have to figure out, oh, that's a little different now. We're working our way up to add on things to widen the universe. But because we don't have a lot of time, we have to leapfrog a little bit. But any fan who's watched our TV shows and read comics, they can fill in those gaps. But yeah, the ultimate goal is to go into every corner of the DC universe. So, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to do with Brave and the Bold. And so, we just broke all the rules there and just threw Batman in every time period, And so we can't quite be that cavalier with it on this end, but again, a year has passed between movies, so in that year stuff has happened. So, the Justice League may have a watchtower next time we come to them, or something will have changed. The lineup, new characters.
With Rebirth, you now have access to a lot of the characters that you didn't during the 52.
Right.
And who are some of the people that you would like to see come into Justice League Dark as you continue forward? That because you have such a 75 years or more of.
Well, we were never like handcuffed to New 52. That was just we just used them as a springboard to launch this because it was a hot thing in the media. People knew it, but we never really labeled what we were doing New 52. We just coincided with what they were doing. So we were always free to, do whatever we wanted and use whoever we wanted. But having said that, there's stories we're going to adapt that were pre-New 52, like we're doing Judas Contract. So no character is really off limits. I mean, we had Batwoman in it, and she predated New 52. So that was never what we went in thinking we have to follow what they're doing. Because by the time we got to our fourth movie, they were done. They'd already, it was like, oh, wait a minute. We were just getting around to thinking about doing that. So, it's hard to tie what the comics do with what we do because their time frame is so much different than ours. I mean, they can do things a lot quicker than we do. They go to print a lot faster than what it takes us to do a movie. So, but having said that, there's lots of Doom Patrol. Oh God, there's pretty much everyone I used on Brave and the Bold. I'd love to figure out a way to get in. So,
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Young Justice because that's my son's favorite show. He wants to know if there's any more of that coming.
I can't say that because I didn't work on it, but
or some of those might be pulled from. Because you had Zatanna and you had.
Yeah. I mean, our Zatanna is older than that Zatanna, so I can't say they're exactly the same. What else? There's something I was going for.
You had the Chaos.
There are parallels. Oh, I do. I like their Aqualad. If we got around to using Aqualad, it might be that one.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, it just depends. But yeah, I'm open to it all. So.
How much freedom do you have to put your own spin on the characters with the comic series going on, movies coming out, TV series going on?
The great thing about Warner's is they kind of let each division handle the characters in their own way that suits whatever medium they're using. So we're not dictated to by the movies, what the movies are doing. We're not dictated to by the comics. As long as it's true to the character and we're not violating anything really important about that character, we're able to show different sides of him and enrich the character in ways that will suit a DVD, a movie. So we have a lot of freedom, actually.
How did you narrow down the team for this specific group of characters?
Once we got the general plot in our mind, it was kind of like, fitting pegs and holes. And some characters fit, some didn't. We wanted each character to have some sort of arc of starting at A and ending at C, and that kind of dictated who we used. And so there'll be interesting things discovered about the Demon and Swamp Thing, and we have Black Orchid in this, a different version of Black Orchid than has appeared in. It's closer to the version that was in Vertigo a while back. So there's little surprises all throughout, and the characters we picked basically were who needed to be thrown together. I mean, like the Spectre is a great character, and I'd love to use him, but he's too powerful for what this team had to accomplish. Same with Dr. Fate, and a few of the others that I would really like to use sometime.
Now that you guys have more of a continuity-based universe versus prior to this, where it was mostly one-off adaptations, is it a little bit harder to work those adaptations into your new continuity, or is it a little bit more freeing that you guys have your own universe to work with?
Well, it depends. Because Bruce Timm is back he's doing more of the one-offs now, and he's either going to do original stuff that he's developed or adaptations that feel right for him, and we'll do the ones that feel right for us. Whereas, like we're doing Judas Contract in continuity because no one really wanted to do it as a period piece of the 80s. We didn't think that flies. So since we've got a Titans lineup, we've jump-started a new line with the Titans. That felt like the perfect thing to adapt. And hopefully we'll do more Titans arcs. I want to do the Starfire arc, which she goes back to Tamaran and all that. So So that made sense for us. Some of the Batman stories make more sense for us than they might for him. Like Court of Owls made more sense for us to tie into our continuity, even though we adapted the story a little bit from what it was. And the same with if we did some other ones, and we were thinking about some other ones like maybe Hush or Long Halloween, things where we could, if I can find a way to fold them into our continuity without violating this actual story too much, then I'll try to take those on. If it's just a total one-off and it's something he wants to do, he'll probably handle that. So that's kind of how we divvy it up.
How far ahead are you, or do you plan your movies out?
Oh, we're in 2020. Can't talk about it right now. So I'll be back to talk about that in a few years, next year.
2020 just a idea sense, or 2020 and you have concepts that are going through production?
That one. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and by next spring it will be in 2021. Because with animation you have to think long term. It takes a year to do one of these completely from the time we start till the time it actually streets. So you have to be ahead of the game. So and there's exciting things coming I can't talk about, but sorry.
Are you going to bring more Robins into the fold? Or
I have some ideas about that. I just don't like a lot of Robins overlapping too much.
Yeah.
But I've figured a way to reconcile almost all of them into this timeline if I have enough time to do it.
So we may see Duke down the line?
Well, I may be in retirement by the time we get to do it. I mean, I got 3 or more to get to if I'm doing them linearly, but no. I mean, the thing with, these were more of Damien's story for a while, showing him, because he had never been in anything. And kind of like the trajectory in the comics when he was introduced, everyone hates him at first. And now they're slowly starting to like him. I knew when we put him with Titans, once he had kids to bust his chops a little, that would take him down a peg, and then he'd be more likable to a general audience, I hope. So we're dealing with Damien for right now, but I have some thoughts about how to work in some of the other fan favorites.
What does Justice League Dark bring to DC fans or DC animation?
Excuse me?
What does Justice League Dark bring to DC fans that other DC series haven't seen?
Swamp Thing, Zatanna. You mean series in general, or just? I mean, I don't know if we've done anything as totally horror based as this is. I mean, it's really a horror movie first and an action movie second. So that aspect, tonally, I think it's pretty scary. We've had some scary parts in other movies, but I think for a total horror experience, I think this one's pretty strong.
Is it leaning more kind of PG-13, like kind of like the Escape from Arkham?
All horror movies start out that way. The thing is, the ratings, the tastes shift. Where a movie we got a PG-13 on 2 years ago might get an R now. I mean, so I don't go in basing anything on that. I just make the movie I want to see, and if home video wants it to be a certain rating or not, we have to adjust. So. Yeah, but I'm not trying to make an R-rated Titans movie, but we'll see.
Neat.
You think?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, James.